Catalina is California 100 years ago. Undeveloped, remote, 60 miles of undeveloped coastline, over 48,000 acres of preserved wildlands. You really feel like you step back in time when you come to Catalina Island.
People can hike, you take tours, there's camping, there's a lot of things for the outdoor enthusiasts to do while on the island.
There's great bird watching, there's great botanizing, great geology here. Generally, people say we've had around 1 million visitors a year to Avalon. Any water-related activities on the ocean are available out of Avalon. Parasailing, scuba diving, snorkeling, and there's almost something different to do every weekend as far as festivals and events and things that are going on.
Mountain biking is a great way to see parts of the island. We have nearly 80 miles of bike trails on this island.
A lot of people don't realize that Catalina was never part of the mainland North America. It actually sort of emerged from the ocean as a result of some plate tectonic activity.
In the region that it's located in, called the continental borderland, there is this pulling apart and pushing up of plate crustal blocks, and we actually suspect that the island came up and down twice.
So we have over 60 species of plants and animals that you find on Catalina Island and nowhere else in the world.
A few of those that only live in single canyons on this one island. So some people call the Channel Islands together as the Galapagos of California because of the high degree of speciation and evolutionary events that have occurred here.
The Catalina Island Conservancy is one of the earliest and oldest and largest private land trusts in the state of California.
Thanks to the progressive foresight of the Wrigley family, who in 1972 created the Catalina Island Conservancy, and then in 1975 actually gave us 88% of Catalina Island, we've been able to protect that 88% from development.
And they deeded the property to the Conservancy to help protect it into perpetuity. So we do that through a balance of conservation, education, and recreational activities. Right now, the Conservancy employs about 75 people. A lot of those people are in the conservation area, protecting the habitat, looking after those plants and animals. We have a large facilities team that maintains over 200 miles of roads and trails and buildings.
The Conservancy's main guided tours are Jeep Eco Tours, 6-person Jeeps with a well-trained naturalist as your driver.
Our Jeep drivers are also trained naturalists, so extremely knowledgeable about the natural and cultural history of the island. Our Jeeps were custom designed and have a capacity of 6 passengers, so it really allows for a customized, tailored tour experience. The island is considered a mountain in the sea because we go all the way from sea level to over 2,000 feet in a couple steps. So it's quite difficult to cross the island and protect the island in such diverse terrain.
My joke is there's 2 directions on Catalina, up and down.
The Trans-Catalina Trail is a hiking trail that runs the entire length of the island, sort of, you can imagine the spine of the island, that allows people to hike over a few days from one end to the other.
It was built about a decade ago. It was a major event to put this 37-mile segment together where you can come from Avalon all the way to the far west end.
The hiking on Catalina is uncompared. It's phenomenal. You really have the opportunity to get away from it all, to get many miles from civilization and see these gorgeous vistas.
It's a grueling hike because of the elevation change and the rugged nature of the island, but it's a fantastic experience. There's campsites along the way. So most people can do it in a few days if they're really hustling, but it's definitely a challenge.
Anybody can tackle that trail, but it is a bit strenuous because the intention is for you to get the most or the best Catalina experience that you can. So it is intended to go from coast to interior, from valley to peak, and really give you the full Catalina experience.
The Catalina Island Fox is an endemic species, meaning it can only be found here on Catalina Island.
It's been here long enough that evolutionary processes have kicked in, and so it's gotten smaller.
In 1999, we found that a disease called canine distemper had been introduced to the island, likely by a raccoon. The population in 1999 was reduced from 1,300 individuals down to fewer than 100.
Through the efforts of the Conservancy, we were able to bring it back from the brink of extinction to almost sort of a full population now on the island in a very short period of time. A lot of the efforts involved trapping animals that were still on the island and vaccinating them and helping them reproduce in a protective environment before releasing them back out into the wild.
We have a population of American bison here on Catalina Island.
Basically, they're a high tourist attraction and sort of an iconic cultural feature of the island.
Kids from the island and kids from the mainland, when they get the opportunity to see an American bison, they absolutely go berserk.
What makes Catalina special is just a beautiful place. It kind of reminds everybody what California used to be like before it was all developed up.
The island represents everything that happened and made California what it is today.
You really have the opportunity to get off the highway, get off the busy interstate, get off the busy roads, and people really think that they've either stepped back in time or even into a different country.